Starting off today, apologies if I sound a little weird or if there's any coughing or random long pauses. I have a scratchy little throat right now, so if that's the main reason why I might be a little bit weird in terms of the talking and audio today. Aside from that, I'm sure as you noticed, another week in Destiny, we got Iron Banner around for the first time this season, the first of 3 visits from Lord Saladin. And of course, with the new Iron Banner new season, we have 2 new guns returning, one brand new, one returning. The first being Pressurized Precision, which is a strand adaptive frame fusion rifle in the kinetic slot, and of course because it is Iron Banner themed, it has access to the Sculptable Forging trait, and largely more Crucible focused perks for your Iron Banner-ness. Then, aside from that, we have the return of Swarm of the Raven, which once upon a time was the damage dealing grenade launcher king, but at the same time, it has not been what it has been since, it was changed to rapid fire. Then aside from that, we also have a new emblem, the Brazen Wolf, which is currently available from Iron Banner for reaching rank 16. I am not aware of any new shaders, although just with a quick run through collections, let's see, shaders. Where would Iron Banner be? Yeah, here we go. I believe this is it. Battle Tempered, which I would guess is what is available, and not too terrible. It looks like an average Iron Banner one, but that's pretty much what you got if you want to go for it, I think. Now, that's an assumption. I don't think it's actually that, but just in case. Then getting into the rest of the world, starting with the front page. So, the weapon currently available from Strikes is the Hung Jury, out of the Corrupted Nightfall. If you don't know, this is in the Dreaming City, lots have taken, possibly one of the more annoying ones. Generally, though, in terms of modifiers, you'll have Overload and Unstoppable champions, all 3 elemental shields, Epitaph or Denial for Vandals spawning more shields, Arc Threat for incoming arc damage being increased, and in addition to overcharged weapons based on seasonal modifiers, Arc Surge and Void Surge, plus overcharged rocket launchers, in addition to Galvanize for enemies just generally having more health and more difficulties to stun. So, like I said, if you want Hung Jury, that is what's available right now, but at the same time, you won't be having any access to the Adept one unless you had leftover Nightfall ciphers. Nothing new in Gambit as usual with Crucible. Like I mentioned, it is Iron Banner, and I forgot to mention as well, it is officially Control, because I forgot they're still doing that thing where they rotate out the 3 versions. So it's currently Iron Banner Control, if you so wish to go for it. Then as well, with the weekly modifier, you have to be playing as Arc, Void, or Strand subclasses if you wish to actually improve the, Pinnacle challenges. Now, aside from that as well, it is currently Mayhem active for our Rotator, and I don't think we have any additional playlist or boosters, because I think it would be Trials, because we didn't have one at all. But at the same time, there's no Trials when Iron Banner's active, so that's not exactly making sense. But into the rest of the world. So with our Rotators, I currently know that, is it Grasp of Avarice? Nope, that's Stairs of Eternity. Oh, the daily rotation dungeon, as a matter of fact, is Spire the Watcher, which I mentioned this in a video not long before the season. This is probably the best chance you want if you want to go after Hierarchy of Needs. If somehow it still hasn't dropped for you, collect all the bonus drop bonuses you can have, and then go for it. This is infinitely farmable for the exotic now, so if you still need that solar bow from this dungeon, go for it right now. Otherwise, don't really need to. It's still it was farmable until beforehand, so unless you really need that cowboy hat, you can leave it alone for now. And for our rotation dungeon, it's currently Garden of Salvation, which does mean that all challenges are active. It is as farmable as possible. Granted, the only thing you'd really be going for is maybe trying to get the piece of armor for a transmog, and then, just all the variety of guns. It has some decent weaponry on the inside, but aside from that, no point in much farming. Then, going from start to finish in terms of our raid rotations and their challenges. Starting with Last Witch, it is the Witch Challenge, which I forget what that is officially. I think that's not Kali. Man, struggle. I'm just gonna say it's Shirochi, because that makes the most sense considering Techeuns are tech witches. Then into Europa for Deepstone Crypt. It is currently Red Rover, which is Security Challenge. The most, by far, annoying one, because you have to do 3 phases of the intro and have 2 people doing the, operator role at a time, so pretty annoying one for the drops. Then, outside of that, going into the Throne World, we have the Vowed Disciple, we have the Defense is Down challenge currently active, which is third encounter challenge if I recall. Basically, only one person can kill the knight at once. Going into the Legends tab, we have Vault of Glass for Out of Its Way challenge, which I think is Conflicts challenge, if I recall, which is basically you have to wait until the wyverns get to the podium and start sacrificing before you can kill them. And for King's Fall, we have Devious Thievery, which, if I recall, officially is Daughter's Challenge. That might be Floor's Lava, though. I'm not entirely sure, though, just based on memory. Then, lastly, going into Neptune for Root of Nightmares, as well as its rotations. It is the Crossfire Challenge, which, if I recall, that's the no one can launch themselves across with the thing, so I think that's one where anyone on one side cannot trigger the jump in second encounter. Then going into Master, of course, it's still Resilience-focused armor, plus a variety of surges, including Arc, Void, and Overcharge shotguns. So there's that, as well as the seasonal Overcharge weaponry, in addition to very unstoppable champions, like always. Then in terms of Neptune itself, the Vex Incursion Zone is in Zephyr Concourse. The weekly rotation mission is No Time Left, which is basically, I think, yep, that's just the final mission in the thing. So there is that. And thinking of the rest of Neomuna, let's see, the Headlong Time Trial, nothing else new, because I think in terms of Neomuna, the strand aspects and that hand cannon was the only thing being added there. And of course, we have the seasonal rotations as always, which I believe there's going to be a new salvage final boss. Let's see if there's anything here. Well, it's hard to tell, but there is an inkling that says there's only 2 bosses for salvage this season. And there's 3 bosses for deep dive, so I believe we're on number 3, which it's hard to say what it is, just not going at it yet. But, you know, there is 3 of that. But they also reactivated the Legendary Defiant Battlegrounds, which is currently in the EDZ, if you wish to go about seasonal stuff. And with Ghost of the Deep, good dungeon. It's reset. Chances to go against the Navigator again. So, there is that. Then that is everything for the broad things. Now, getting into more seasonal stuff. Let's see. Forgot about Eternity, though. For Dares of Eternity in the Legend mode... Oh, don't want to go into that. For Legend mode farming, it is currently Vex, Cabal, and Crota. And going into the seasonal challenges for the week, we have another week of challenges, 10 full. We have Into the Depths 2, which is complete the week 2 Into the Depths mission. And we also have Frontline Scavenger 2, which is opening chests and salvage. Redeem salvage keys, grant additional progress. Additionally, defeat taken anywhere in the system. So basically just run salvage a few times. Powerful Salvager, defeating powerful combatants in salvage activities, anything yellow bar or higher. Then Antithetical Armaments. Okay, defeating targets with shotguns, sniper rifles, defeated guardians, or defeated combatants in salvage or deep dives. Grant additional progress. So close and really far. Then we also have Throne World activities for in the Throne World completing bounties, as well as patrols, public events, and lost sectors. Then Lost in Legend for completing a lost sector on Legend or higher. Then in terms of our Crucible Challenge, defeating Guardians of the Mayhem playlist with super abilities. Really easy to do that in a few matches. Primeval Entourage for defeating Taken and Gambit. Earn bonus progress for tougher combatants. And in Strikes, defeating Taken combatants and Vanguard players or Strikes. Earn bonus progress for defeating tougher combatants. And for weapon calibration, it is long-range weapons, including pulse rifles, bows, and trace rifles. But no scout or sniper rifles. Curious. And of course, always bonus progress for defeating them against Guardians. Now, in terms of Banshee's rotation, there is some solid weapons. In terms of what's craftable on the front page, the number is not Nezarec Whisper, Ostringer, Taipan, and Tears of Contrition. All craftable in case you wanted to buy 1 or 2 to, craft yourself. Although I think bought can't be crafted. It's actually weird looking at it. Because, well, it's hard to say just because I've crafted all these things, so I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I believe they are craftable, so if you need to go for them, I would recommend buying them. But then in terms of our random weapon rolls, Jaraka, Stasis, Rapid Fire Vice, Stinger 1. It's weird words, I know. Now, Focus Fury is pretty good because this thing is stable enough to actually proc Focus Fury on a good set, but Hipfire Grip, of course, not great. Other great rolls for that, and of course, because Stasis, access to Headstone, Golden Tricorn in the lot, possibly good for a Stasis setup. And then we also have Irukanji, which is a very similar styled sniper rifle, Under Pressure and Harmony may not be great, but if you actually get access to 4 times the charm and firing line, which I think I have on one of these two, pretty great DPS sniper option. And then we have Pleiadius Corrector, which is a lightweight frame solar scout rifle. Subsistence multi-kill clip, 2 great perks, but ones that counteract each other. Can't really recommend using this though, because it is still behind and 0 for 0 in terms of updatedness. And we have Combined Action, a arc aggressive frame hand cannon recently introduced into this season. Access to the field-tested origin trait, and some variety of good things like Eddy Current and, Volt Shot at the same time, so definitely playing into arc setups, but not great perks here, mainly unless you're really planning on hip firing and quick drawing. And we have Typhon GL5, which Genesis Chill Clip, weird combination of perks. It's hard to think about Genesis just because you won't be matching any shield types anytime soon, but aside from that, pretty solid grenade launcher. Would definitely recommend other roles in this. And then of course Taipan F4FR. This is a pretty solid roll. Liquid or accelerated coils for faster charge, range masterwork, clown cartridge for more ammo, frenzy for just general damage buff. I would recommend this, but of course still craftable, so if you wanted something a little bit better, access to crafting is always there. Lastly, checking with Ada for her shader variety. It's a few good, a few bad. We have the Envious Touch from Season of Arrivals, which is one of those things that is meant to be used like a set. Lots of weird looking dark ripples, some solid yellowish glow. Really repping the dark look, but at the same time, it's a little bit weird just because of the ripples on it. And we also have New Pacific Sync, which is something you would use on Titan old days, so maybe use it in a few sets of armor nowadays. But essentially a little worn, roughed down blue with some nice blue glowing. And then we have War Cult Camo, which really reps the old future War Cult in a good way. Purple and whites with a solid neon highlighter yellow for the glow. Looks pretty clean, not gonna lie, but of course, you know, after what happened in Season of the Splicer, future War Cult can burn. But aside from that as well, before the end of the video, I just wanted to let you guys know for farming fish, currently it is increased activity in the Miasma, aka the Throne World fishing area. So, on that note as well, I'm not sure if that's a weekly rotation. It was outskirts all last week anytime I looked at the bonus fish. But if you wanted to actually keep a track of that in case it's weekly, current boosted fishing zone is in the Throne World. I'll be sure to mention that sooner in the video for anyone who actually cares. But with that, that is the reset. Of course, I'll be covering Eververse as well as the seasonal stuff in a separate video and many extra details getting along the way. And like I said, I apologize for my voice in case it sounded weird or if there was any awkward pauses. With that, my name is Matt Scorpion, and I will see you in the next video.